Okay, welcome back to my channel. Hello, hi, how are you doing? We are here to talk about the mid-season finale of I almost said Big Little Lies. I literally almost said it's called Big Sky. We know it's Big Sky, but it's created by David E. Kelly, but who also made Big Little Lies. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about, let's just get straight into it. Let's just get straight into the opening scene. We have Legarsky walking up the stairs with a little hammer, like he's gonna go bash his wife. And I had like, if you watched The Undoing a couple weeks ago, I had like flashbacks to The Undoing during the scene. I was like, please, can you not? And he like just like imagines just killing her. And I'm just like, can we not? Can we not? I'm trying to get over that show. I'm already scarred enough. Anyway, so he decides not to do it, and you're like, okay, whatever, who cares? And his wife wakes up kind of creeped out. She's like, what do you want? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, starts going on this. I like zone out when Legarsky's talking. Like, I don't know if it's the actor or the stupid lines they give him to say. I'm just like, okay, girl, like, you're trying to sound all like, he's trying to have all this gravitas, and I'm like, it's just not there. Everything you're saying is dumb. Shut up, please. Anyway, fast forward, they finally get the cops to come and do something. And by the time they get there, they just so happen to have moved them right in time. Right in time for them to show up and find nothing. And she told them, and what is her name? Jenny. Jenny told them that she was illegally tracking a state trooper. I mean, you know, good for you. Like, that was a dumb game plan. You know, this whole thing with the warehouse doesn't make sense, because when they get to the warehouse and they're all in there, they're like, go down to the basement, go down to the underground. And I'm like, why are Cassie and Jenny saying go underground when they were there? They did not go underground. They literally went up a flight, well, not up a flight of stairs, but they went into some random room that's irrelevant to the whole show. They went in some random room. So why would they be telling the police to go underground to look in the bunker basement where the girls are? They didn't know that the girls were there. They literally got there and didn't see anything and left. So how would they be telling the cops anyway? So then even when they get there, the whole place looks super sketch. They're already there, guns a-blazing. And they don't take any DNA or do any crime scene investigation. And I just think that's interesting, because they should have walked into that little room and seen bloodstains, because Grace's blood was everywhere because he shot her. Like, you know, so that's that. And then I dubbed the girls Kidnap Gang. So we check in on Kidnap Gang early on in the episode as well. And the girls are getting emotional. They're kind of fluctuating back and forth. They don't know what to do. Danielle is trying to be all badass at one moment. She's like, I'm every girl that's ever rejected you. And then like, they're like, please sir, don't hurt us. Like, like they can't decide. And then like, even in a later scene, Grace is like, please sir, don't do this. And then she's like, don't touch me, when he's putting the thing on her, and they're like struggling. And I'm like, girl, like they just can't. The Kidnap Gang is getting emotional. They had another little choir session where they sang a little bit. It was fine. It was cute. The only thing that I give a little tiny baby side eye to was when Jerry is consistently offering herself as like a sacrificial lamb. Like, no, take me. Let the girls go home. I'm like, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. I don't know. She's always doing that. Oh, and then are we saying that Grace's leg is basically okay now? Because last week she was laying out on the verge of gangrene, like we said. And this week it's just a little pussy. Just a little pussy. And then she says, why don't you come suck on it? I'm like, ew. Like, really? Is that something Danielle would say? I don't know. I guess Danielle is an idiot, let's be fair. And so she's trying to be sassy at the wrong moment. But she like they get all, like I said, they're getting all emotional, and in one part she says, it's all my fault, blah blah blah, and I'm like, it's low key her fault. So I don't know. God bless them. The Kidnap Gang. Well, if you've seen it, you know what's gonna. I'm wondering what's gonna happen to Kidnap Gang. I just came up with that. I just was thinking that yesterday, and I'm like, dang, I can't even say that long. They're not gonna be kidnapped very much longer. That's it. That's fine. Jenny and Cassie have a little bonding moment. They talk about why they quit being cops. Blah blah blah. And this is what I was thinking during their conversation, because their conversation, like the dialogue in the show, doesn't take me there. It's not super deep, doesn't get me super emotional. She says, everybody has their idea of justice. I wanted mine to count. And I'm just like, what does that mean? You know, like the dialogue in the show is kind of vague and it's non-committal. It doesn't really say a lot. She's black, and there's a lot of implication, especially from Legarsky, that because she's black, she's biased against the police or she's anti-police. But like the show won't commit to that. Like they won't give Cassie that. Like Cassie doesn't quit the police force because of her like issues with how police handle black people. And they also don't let her open up to Jenny about her dead husband. Maybe that's why she quit the force, because it was too dangerous and she wants to be there for her son. I don't know. See, this is what I'm saying about the dialogue. The dialogue doesn't commit to either thing, and they just give this vague thing, a sense of death. There's a lot of cowboys with the badge. I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? I'm like, okay, girl. Anyway, and then Cassie in the show just goes up to Legarsky's wife, because they're like so sloppy. They're running out of leads. They've botched their relationship with the local police. So they're like, well, let me just keep grasping at straws. So she goes into the quilt shop, that little cute quilt shop, and she accuses Legarsky to Legarsky's wife's face. Now, Legarsky in the beginning of the episode decided not to murder her. And then moments after that, he went on his long, stupid speech about how he wants to be a better man for her. And so she's buying it hook, line, and sinker. She's breaking up with Ronald, you know, and she's like, I'm going to stand by my man. Like, don't come in here accusing him of stuff. I'm like, girl, last week you probably would have spilled tea. Like, a week ago when you were mad at him, you would have spilled tea. But this week, you're like, don't come in here accusing my husband. Like, I'm done. Okay, now let's get to the criminal masterminds who are dwindling down. They're dwindling down. They're running out of time, and their little duo is getting cut down to one. Now, we get a flashback of how they kind of met and like what happened. Like, so Legarsky was basically picking up Ronald with another, sex worker. And he's like, why don't you help this girl? La la la. By putting her into sex trafficking or human trafficking? Get out of here. They meet yet again. This is what I'm saying, at this completely abandoned yet fully stocked bar. Like, how? Why? Like, no, who owns the bar? No one else is ever in there. And like, if you're off the highway, like, people are gonna stop in because they're like, I've never been here, I need somewhere to stop, I need to use the bathroom, I need a drink. Like, people might like stop in there, like, but it's like completely abandoned yet fully stocked, and Legarsky just hangs out there all the time. And I'm just like, how is he a good state trooper? When does he work? He's always just hanging out at the abandoned bar or at his abandoned shed with his kidnapped victims. Like, I don't get it. And then one of my favorite parts was when Ronald was wiping all of the girls' faces, and like Jerry was giving him the death stare. Jerry was just like in the back. And then she tries to like, when they're first of all, why did they get like a loan? I don't know. They get like a loan, and like she's trying to like tell him like, you don't have to do this. You're not like Legarsky. You're different. And like, I'm like, okay, Jerry, like kind of being a little seductive. They have like romantical music playing in the background. I'm like, and then like Ronald like has his hands in her lap, and like Ronald's like, I bet you were the kid in school who liked to share your snacks and befriend the kids who's sitting alone. I'm like, what is this? what is this? And so he's like, no, this is how it has to be. And he like sends her back with the other kidnapped gang. And I'm just like, get out of here. And get out of here. I was like, what was that? Like, they're like giving like a little like romantic subplot to Jerry and Ronald. And I'm like, honestly, Jerry deserves better, but also like, ew, yuck. Who wants to see Ronald happy in the end? Who wants to see Ronald happy in the end? No one. Not me. I know that much. I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but not me. And I theorized, see, Ronald is an idiot. I theorized that Ronald, like, Legarsky's endgame, if he ever gets caught, my theory was, in the past tense, that he was going to just pin it on Ronald. Ronald's a creepy little loser, lives with his mom. Easy peasy. You just pretend like you're fucking arresting him. You can literally be in, just, if y'all get caught, all you have to do is grab Ronald and pretend like, hey, I'm the state trooper arresting this guy. He's a creep. I cracked the case. Like, he could have easily framed him at any time. Past tense, that was my theory in the past tense. And Legarsky basically threatened him with that. And then we get to the point where Ronald is asking him, so what's going to happen to the girls? Ronald doesn't even know what's going on. He doesn't even know where exactly the girls go or what's really going to happen to the girls. He just kidnaps girls and moves on with his life. Are you joking or are you joking? And I'm just like, okay, girl. Whatever. Whatever. I can't with this show. Like, he's just now asking, like, you know all those girls I kidnapped? What do you do with them? I can't believe he even asked that. And let's get to Ronald's mom. Oh, before we move on from the criminal masterminds, Legarsky. So the fisherman's truck was found 2 miles away from their little hiding place for their kidnapped victims. Are you serious? And then you would think that he would have towed it. All that machinery they have on that abandoned farm, you think they would have towed it. Anyway, sloppy. And what about the fisherman's body? The missing fisherman. But where's his body? They buried him? I can't. So someone did file a report. Oh, speaking of that, we saw the parents for like 2 seconds. I was like, I can't with this. Anyway, this is, by the time y'all get here, no one's watching anymore. But if you're watching, let's talk about Ronald's mom. If you're still watching this video, let's talk about Ronald's mom. She basically accused him twice. The first time she's accusing him, he's like, punches her and chokes her or whatever. And then like the second time, he's like, yeah, I did it. He literally confesses to her. I'm like, are you serious? Take it to your grave. You don't confess. What in the world? And then I was just like, Ronald's mom got the best lines for her first couple episodes where she just dragged him for Phil. She just roast the shit out of him. Now she's just like a little victim of her stupid son. Like, I hate it. And then let's get to the very, very end. Did things just get really interesting on this show? I don't know, like, morally if I can keep co-signing this show, because I'm about to do the controversy video, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's actually a hot mess behind the scenes. But in the end, we get to the scene where Cassie is busting in the abandoned, yet always fully stocked bar, and she's, like, holding her gun, and they're, like, having this long, drawn-out conversation. I'm like, really? Just shoot him. Just shoot him. Pop a cap in him a couple times. And they're going back and forth. I'm going to count to 5 because you're a girl. And she just shoots him in the head. And I'm just like, well, I felt like I did tell you to shoot. Like, I did say to her, like, just shoot him. Then when she just shoots him, I'm like, I didn't mean in the head. Not in the head. Now you're a murderer. Well, anyway, some stray thoughts. What do we think about this ending? What do we think? I don't know. I really don't know. And then Ronald making out. Oh, let's just some stray thoughts. Ronald making out with Legarsky's wife. I'm like, I wonder where that's going to go, especially after he gets killed. And is this show sponsored by Old Navy? Because he definitely was dressing the kidnap gang in some Old Navy dresses when he was cleaning them up. I noticed that. I'm like, those are Old Navy tags. That is clearly an Old Navy dress. What in the world? Anyway, that's all my thoughts. All my thoughts on the mid-season finale. I don't know. Where do we go from here? Who knows? Who freaking knows, you know? Who freaking knows? Comment down below what you think's gonna happen.